What's up and good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to another video. It's probably gonna be one of the very few videos you see a rhino with a forward hat. We got the fresh braids in and it's just uncomfortable wearing a hat backwards when you're rocking some braids. So enjoy it. It's a very rare occasion. But today we're jumping back on the Rhino Ranch pool project. And we are so close, guys. Again, this is where I left off in the last video. I have not painted anything more. I actually purchased more paint. And woo, if you guys have bought paint lately at Home Depot, 5 gallons of paint of like some okay stuff is $220 for one 5-gallon bucket. Absolutely crazy. Thankfully we get some discounts over there. But you want like the premium stuff, you're at like $320 for 5 gallons of paint. Like, the world's just gone freaking crazy. We're gonna be jumping on today and closing the bottom of the deck. I've got an entire truckload of lumber. And if you guys watch back in my videos, one of the videos where one of the kids was loading onto my trailer, there was an older guy there and he was kind of cracking jokes and like trying to direct the kid and whatever. Well, he has upgraded from being a flagger to a forklift guy, and I got to give that man credit because we got this successfully, safely loaded into the truck, didn't damage nothing. He had a guy there kind of helping him and teaching him, but they did freaking awesome. So we've got a bunch of 2x4s and a bunch of 2x6s, and well, you've guessed it, we're gonna be somewhat matching the fence that's going around the house. I went back and forth a million different times on what to do down here. I was thinking of like some really modern lattice work, not like the traditional little X-shaped lattice that everybody's done on under decks for the last 100 years. They got some really modern stuff, but very few things come in 8-foot sections. And well, we have 8 feet in between posts, and we could pad it out a little bit with some 2x4s, but there's just no point in that. And all the really modern stuff is like ungodly expensive. So instead, we're gonna do what we did on the fence. We're gonna alternate. We're gonna go 2x6, 2x4, 2x6, 2x4. But we're gonna do it a lot tighter than we did on the fence. That way you can't really see through here. I mean, you might be able to when we're done, but we have a remedy for that. So I'm gonna keep a 2-inch spacing in between the two, and hopefully the wind's not getting too crazy right now and you can hear me. But I think it's gonna look cool. It's gonna match the fence. We'll probably end up painting it white so everything just looks cohesive out here. But today is brutal. I mean, we're already like mid-afternoon, later in the afternoon, and it's still 100-something degrees. We got another heat wave for the next 2 days or so, so this is gonna be interesting. Let's take a little break in the misters for a second, cool off, get a little liquid in the shirt and on the skin. And for those of you wondering, I have put the link to these misters. You can get them on Amazon in the description, as well as all the lighting and stuff. I failed to do that in previous videos, so I apologize. We have these things barely turned on. Like, the spigot is barely cracked, and they're still putting off plenty of water. You can, I mean, turn them up if you want, but we really don't need to. It's kind of perfect. We'll grab the miter saw, carry it down there. Now, the good news is all of these cuts are straight cuts, unlike the fence where we had some grades and stuff that were going up and down, so we had to constantly be cutting an angle into both sides of the board, which just made things take way too long. I've gone ahead and pre-measured out some of these sections, so we're gonna start cutting. A few of these ended up a little bit bigger than 8 foot, and again, hopefully you guys can hear me. I know the wind's getting a little crazy, so I had to get some 10-footers. That's why layout is important, and keeping an eye on things getting put into the ground is important. I failed to do that here, so we had this section, and I think a section over there that ended up being a little bit bigger than 8 foot, so we got some 10 foot. Ooh, this wood is caca. Alrighty, well, we are looking pretty solid. We've got most of it done. I'm not going to do anything on these sections on the little hillside right here. We're going to end up kind of planting some stuff in front. I know a lot of other states you guys got to worry about raccoons and critters and all kinds of stuff getting up underneath your decks. We don't really have that kind of a problem here. I know, believe it or not, for being so out in the open and out in the wild. And I actually want to leave access. Like, I feel like it's a double-edged sword of people that really try to seal off underneath their decks. But basically what you're making is a comfortable home once something finds out how to get into it. And they're always going to find out a way to get into it. So, but yeah, like I said, really our biggest problem out here is squirrels and rabbits. And I don't foresee them messing with too much stuff down here. Plus our cats really keep them away from the house. So we're looking good all the way to here. I left that section open. Yes, there's going to be a gate right where the pool pump is. I wanted to put these in place though first. Then I'm going to come from the back side, which is why we left it open over there to give me access. And I'm going to frame out a doorway. And then if all goes according to plan, cut it out and hinge it basically from the back side. Well, I guess the hinges will have to be on the front. But basically I'm hoping if I cut it out and we frame it properly in the back, it'll keep it seamless looking, versus trying to like build it over here and put it in place and hope that all these slats line up. That's the plan, at least. We'll see if that actually ends up working. And then after we finish that up, I ran down to Tractor Supply. I have been hunting everywhere for 16-foot gates that, I mean, I don't really care that they match the guest house, but it'd be nice. But I also don't want, like, they have to have some type of mesh on them and they got to look halfway decent. So I ended up finally finding a Tractor Supply that had one in stock. Found one. I need 2 more of these big 16-footers, and then we got a 12-footer down here. And we were kind of legal bringing it back to the ranch. But I got bad news about the 6.0, guys. She's not happy right now. She's not healthy. I noticed twice today when I went to start her, she was kind of struggling to start. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, you guys know me, battery issues. So when I was leaving Tractor Supply, she barely had enough juice to start. And I was like, oh, geez, okay. Well, whatever, we'll buy some new batteries. Then I got about 3/4 of the way home and the radio shut off and the battery light came on and the ABS light came on. And I'm like, okay, maybe we're dealing with like an alternator issue. And then the entire gauge cluster went dead. And then she started running real bad and I barely made it to the ranch. But I'm gonna assume it's the alternator, I'm hoping. And on these trucks, it's very easy to swap. Not saying I'm gonna swap it because I'm not a mechanic. Gotta love owning old truck. We're gonna end the day off though with the animals, getting them fed. Already put the goats up. I did see as I was coming home right now, 2 coyotes kind of cruising across the field. I raced into the house and grabbed a slingshot, hoping they would still be around by the time I came out, but they ended up booking it out of here. But that is why it is important for us to put the goats up before dark, or even as the sun kind of sets, because the coyotes come out hunting, and that's some tasty looking birria right there for the coyotes. Right, Bubs? You good, buddy? Donks, I already fed you guys. You're good. Let's go check on the chickens. Ooh, we haven't checked inside of the refrigerator box since we brought it out here. Let's see if anything's been walking up in there. I don't see any animal poop. I just see oh, look at that. We got a USB charger that came with it. Oh, what do we got? A socket? What is it? I don't know. Oh, that was tiny. Was that 3mm? Ah, looks like we ended up taking a woman's shoe too. And some sloppy joes. All right, geese, I hear you. Let's get you guys some fresh water. Dump out your dirty water, because y'all got dirty feet. You gotta wipe your feet before you go in your swimming pool. Clean you out a little bit here. Is this okay? Is this okay? If you guys want, we built a bigger pool down there. Feel free. Just wipe your feet. Oh, we got some good stuff for you guys. Good stuff right here. I don't know what's in here. This looks old. There you go. Here you go. Everybody enjoy. Yeah, I know. You know, guys, I gotta admit, the chickens are not my favorite. They're kind of gross. And one of these days, though, I want to build them a luxury chicken coop. That's like somewhere way back on my list of things to do. But this spot's cool and it's huge. However, it's got a net over top, which is great. Keeps critters and stuff out, but the net's sagging. The tree's like intertwined in the net now. I don't know if we're ever gonna like successfully get that out without destroying the net. All right, geese, you're good. Look, you don't gotta yell. Hey, it's not that serious, man. We don't gotta yell. I just got you some fresh water to go swimming in. Oh, you protecting your girl? All right, good job, buddy. Good job. This dude likes to square up with you. He acts all scared when you're in there. When you're kind of walking away, he kind of comes up to you like a little sideways, like, what's up? What's up? I know you ain't got nothing. No, you got no business over here. You just trying to size me up. You was over there earlier. What's crazy is if you don't say anything loud, he doesn't make any noise. right? There you go. All right, animals are put up for the night. Tomorrow we're gonna get this gate in and that gate. Those are the two most important gates for now. We might end up just boarding up that section and then that section straight ahead right there, just until we can find more gates. And it'll hopefully keep the animals out. We'll obviously have that front section open still until I build that gate, because that one's not really one I'm gonna find in stock anywhere. So we'll jump back on in the morning. And I think it's supposed to be even hotter tomorrow. Alrighty, y'all, we are back. What, did you get shocked already? Oh, Jesus. You might want to just get rid of that extension. Papa Rhino brought us the alternator. We're going to try and swap this out ourselves. I looked online and apparently it's like one of the easiest alternator swaps you can do on a vehicle. So we're going to give it a shot. Apparently you don't even need like a big old ratchet on the belt tensioner, because Ford included a kickstand down in there. And all you do is you have one guy pull on it, the other guy flicks the kickstand down, and it takes all the tension off the belt. So we're gonna see if that's true or not. So we got the battery disconnected. We should probably take the tension off now. I don't really know which way it goes. All right, we're struggling to get the kickstand to engage. Papa Rhino said he's gonna get it without the kickstand and taking the belt tension off. So let's see. Oh, we're struggling on step one. They've been on there for a minute. All right. Oh, got it out. Okay. Where'd it go? Good luck. That's a lot of tension there. Need to go more? Here, you push on this.
Whatever that thing's supposed to.
Just push on it. We just need a little bit of leverage. We have the kickstand engaged now, and Papa Rhino got a splinter. I'll take tension off it. Alrighty, we found the missing bolt. We've gotten her on. Hopefully we got the belt put back on correctly. It is so crowded in there, you can't see much. But hopefully we're good. Alright, now it says you give the belt a yank, the kickstand comes out. There it is. Yep, let her out. There she is.
Tight.
She's tight.
Okay guys, you see that?
Alrighty, now technically you're supposed to charge the batteries back up and not put all this load on the new alternator, because, well, both batteries are pretty much dead, but ain't nobody got time for that. So we're just going jumper with the NOCO jump box, and we'll give her a run. See if we did everything right, see if a belt comes flying out.
If it does, everybody duck.
It's already a good sign because the gauge cluster works. There we go. Look at that, y'all. 2 idiots ranch edition, 2 idiots garage ranch edition, 2 idiots ranch, whatever it is. Look at that. We're mechanics now. All right, now that we got her all fired up, let's drive her about 40 feet to where the gate's gonna go. Now the good thing about these gates is they are super light. The reason I like that is because this big 16-footer is actually going to be motorized, so the lighter it is, the less strain you're putting on your motor, especially considering we're going to just end up using like a cheap gate mule solar setup. I know there's different ones that are rated up to more weight, but the lighter it is, the less taxing it is on the motor, the longer the solar power lasts, yada yada yada. And I'm trying to minimize letting them rub on each other, even though they were bouncing all over each other going down the dirt road yesterday. But the less scratches, the less rust we're gonna end up with at some point. Worst case scenario, we send these to Swift powder later. There we go. All right, we got it. Okay, so we've put the gate in place where we want it. Pretty much picked the appropriate height. Now we do have adjustments in the actual hinge portion. These gates are super simple. This is literally your hinge pin. You drill in, you turn this into the 6x6, they set on top of this, you're good to go. I don't, however, have the right size drill, but I've searched everywhere, can't find it, so we're gonna go smaller, try to ream it out a little bit, and then we'll just have to fight to get these in. But we've marked center of the post, so we're just gonna go for it. Now remember guys, we did a 16-foot actual opening, whereas the 16-foot gates, they're a little bit smaller than 16 because they account for the length of the hinge sticking out a little bit. And on the other side, we're gonna end up having to put a little stop. That way the gate can swing closed and you can't push it through this way. Our goal with this gate is it opens up. Obviously we were on a slope, so it really can't open in, it has to open out. And one of the things we like to do is whenever we park right here and we're leaving the house, we like to just drive straight through, drive around the back side of the house instead of trying to turn around right here. So this one will end up getting a motor on it for that reason, as this is going to be a pretty heavily traveled and open gate. Now this bottom hinge we left out just a little bit further than the top one. We're hoping that the hinges are actually out that way. Reason being is we've got 16 feet of gate, 16 feet of weight that is leveraging down. So I don't know if this is the exact spot it needs to be. Basically, we're accounting for, we know the gate's gonna sag a little bit, so we're trying to preload it, if you will, in the up position. That way by the time it has all the weight over there, hopefully it sits level, and then we can kind of screw these in and out as we see fit to make it work. So let's go ahead and put these on. Come up higher. Come on, come up more. Yep, right there. There we go. On that twist. It could be the gate bent. The gate looks like it's got a little twist to it. Yeah, let's see. See how we did, y'all. We're just guessing on how far to turn those out. That
Holy
is
shit.
dang near perfect.
Push it out a little. Now what?
Oh, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Hold on.
Huh?
Yeah, we're pretty close. If anything, again, you can see we're a little bit low on that side, which we already accounted for that. So you can see you got to really account for things like this when you're talking about the weight. You don't want to bolt them all the way in, even with each other. So we can back that lower one out a little bit. We'll get extra level and we'll be good to go. This high-end chain that they give with the gate. So we got her pretty close to back to plumb with this, but if you look down the fence, or if you look down the gate, you can see that there's a little bow in this top bar. I think that's what's throwing us out of whack. There's really no way we're gonna be able to straighten that, so it's pretty good. I think we're pretty solid. Which looks like all the way open. Oh, we got Big Walt. He's coming over to inspect. Little big flies bugging you, man. They are annoying. Yeah, come on, buddy. Now, Big Walt, this is nothing personal, man. The gates aren't for you. You're very respectful of the property, and for that, we appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. But those dang donkeys, man. Those dang donkeys, they just make a mess. You know, you want some neck scratches right there? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the spot, huh? That's the spot. Yeah, you're a good boy, buddy. You're a good boy. You just let us know. Anytime you want to come in, man, you come on in, all right? Yeah, oh, thank you. Yep, your tongue is very scratchy. Okay, we have filled one hole so far. Alrighty, gate number 2. Second hinge going in, then we're gonna slap this in place. And let's see how we did on level. There she blows. Little tight tolerance over here. Now remember, guys, eventually the old pig pen's coming out. We're gonna continue this style of fence to the block wall on the guest house back there, and then this will all be open with a little driveway to the guest house garage, as well as a driveway to the little parking RV area on the side. Let's see what she says.
No?
Maybe no. That's
a little bit.
That's out of level there, guy.
Well, you made me go in one.
We'll probably get her out of her. There we go.
Leave her, because you know eventually she is.
Yep, that's good right there. 2 holes in the fence line officially filled. This one will eventually end up with like a little hand latch, so you're not having to finagle with this stupid chain all the time. The only issue is you don't have to open that one to open this one to get to the guest house garage. Uh-oh, the baby goat is definitely not happy. Pavarano reminded me that we have some corral fencing that should be 16. I think it's actually longer than 16 foot. So we're gonna use those to close off the 2 other entrances for now. And it'll look a little less tacky than trying to like string a couple of 2x4s across. But we gotta take a little break. Found an old scratcher in the truck. Let's see, we're looking for a music symbol. If I win on this, I'm gonna give somebody half of what I win. There we go. I could be up to $250,000. Now we've got a treble clef. Technically that's, you know, that's a musical note, but apparently not the right musical note. Sad day. We did not win. I apologize. Sorry guys. I was gonna split 250 grand with you, but this is why you don't gamble, kids. Just a waste of money. Sometimes. All right, I'm not exactly sure what he had in mind. Only one of these looks like 16 foot. What do we got down there? No, that's like a 4-foot little door. We got a couple of maybe 10 footers. I don't know about this. That one, these are all jacked up. These have just been kind of lying in the field for years. They got all burned up by the fire. They've probably been run over a time or 2. Yeah, this ain't we're gonna have to double stack these. It's not gonna be as clean looking as I had anticipated. Oh, we almost had them all. Almost grabbed them, guys, almost grabbed them. All right, let's see. You come unstuck. You're too high. What are you doing up there, guy? All right, you stay there. We might as well bring you too, because I don't know how many we're gonna need. Man, do I love having this tractor here. Makes stuff like this so easy. A few people have commented asking if I regret the tractor purchase, and I do not at all. I knew it's like we're gonna have to have multiple types of equipment, right? We need an excavator, we need a skid steer, and I personally wanted a tractor. So there's certain things that a skid steer is much better at than this tractor. And eventually I'll own a skid steer that can handle those tasks. Then when it comes time to mowing the field for 2 days, I'd much rather do it in a tractor like this. When it comes to maintaining the road, I like to do it in a tractor like this. I'm much more comfortable, I've got much better viewing, I don't feel like I'm trapped in the box like if I was inside of a skid steer. Alrighty, so this one is in place and the gate actually functions, so you can still come through here if you need to. Again, I'm hoping these are as temporary as they need to be. We're gonna go take these other two to the other side, tie wire them together, and we should be good to go. Hopefully this discourages the animals from, like, you know, or at least they start getting used to not being able to come into the yard. Took a nice long scenic tour around the property and we have arrived at the next gate opening.
Go halfway down.
Yeah, you guys got to go that way now. No more shortcut. Hate to break it to you. Sorry about that. I asked nicely if you could stop pooping on my patio, but y'all wouldn't listen. Don't worry, you have oodles of acres everywhere. I fenced off like 2 acres, maybe, not even. You guys can have the rest. Temporary gate number 2 is done. Tomorrow, me and Abel are gonna jump on painting. We're gonna paint underneath the deck first, and then we're going to start painting the fence. We're gonna see how far, like we have like 8 gallons of paint left. And that gets me with the sprayer. When you're spraying, you eat up a lot more paint. And I don't have a smaller nozzle. Maybe I should go buy one, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's also, again, gonna be 1,000,000 degrees tomorrow, so wish us luck. So yesterday, Abel did me a solid and painted the second pergola for me. So huge thank you to him, because those were not fun to paint. But today we're pulling out the Avanti airless sprayer. This is from Harbor Freight. This thing, I mean, you can see, I've used the crap out of this thing, and it is freaking phenomenal. For the price point, you can't beat this airless sprayer. We're gonna use this to spray the lower sides of the deck, and then we're gonna go down the fencing. Again, I've got like 8 gallons of paint. We'll see how far that gets us today, but I don't think it's gonna get very far. You do eat up a lot more when you're spraying because there's a lot of overspray, there's a lot of waste versus rolling or brushing. However, the time factor just makes it worth it, because we would spend hours upon hours upon hours trying to get into all these little inside corners and grooves in between the boards. It's just not worth it. Okay, spray, prime. I think I está, Evo. ¿Quieres un esa or no?
No.
Okay. Yo... Sí. I think, Evo, I'm gonna go to maybe aquí. Y we'll do este para mano.
Okay.
Por no overspray. Alright guys, let's see what's gonna happen here. We still gotta figure out what we're gonna do for this transition. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint white to about here. We'll come in, we'll roll this, that way we're not risking screwing up the deck. There's probably gonna be some overspray that gets on the pool down there. I really don't care. It's underneath the pool, no big deal. Let's see though what we got going on. I am also not a professional painter, so my technique's probably horrible, but it'll work for what we're doing here. All right, we've done one coat, and thankfully, you know, the good thing about this heat is it's gonna dry quickly to do our second coat. The mini truck's coming in perfect as our little mini spray rig. We've got the generator, paint sprayers, bucket of paint. All we gotta do now is move the mini truck. So, Harbor Freight, if you're watching this, you make awesome tools. We need you to start making mini trucks, affordable mini trucks. Now you guys watch Abel as I'm doing what I'm doing today, painting. Watch him on the hose, watch him when we're moving the trucks and stuff like that. I don't have to ask Abel to do this. I don't have to tell Abel to do this. I don't have to give him directions. We've been working together so long, it's like second nature for him and I to just kind of back each other up. So if you guys are looking to get into the trades and you want to be a good helper and you want to be important and you want to be recognized as that, just kind of watch Abel and what he does in my videos. He is, he's always on it. Ok, ya estuvo, Evo. Listo por defense. So we currently have a ton of fire ants, and apparently we're sitting right on top of their house. One already got me. Abel got bit a couple days ago. Chava got bit. We've done 2 coats on the underside of the deck. I think we are a little less than halfway through that 5-gallon bucket, but that was already had a gallon or 2 missing from Abel doing that pergola. So I think we're gonna do okay today. But keep in mind, those are a lot closer together, the horizontals, so we're not wasting as much. On this deck, we're gonna be wasting a lot of paint because of that spacing in between. And I couldn't find a narrower fan tip for the spray gun that has a big enough orifice to spray paint and primer. The like 4-inch and 6-inch ones, they're only meant for like stain, at least the one I can find locally. To give you guys an idea on how hot it is out here, we actually had the paint coagulating and drying up on the strainer that was deep inside 5 gallons of paint. It's freaking hot out here. And what's crazy is the Avanti was still spraying it, so that's good. We're doing a bucket changeover. We've burned through 5 gallons so far. Well, I guess three and a half, I think is what we did. To do all that, 2 coats, this 2 coats on one side. We still got a second coat the other side. So Abel's getting the strainer cleaned. Like, it had an entire thick coat of paint that was half coagulated around that strainer, and I noticed nothing on the other end. It was spraying it just fine, and we didn't strain none of this, we didn't filter none of the paint, we didn't thin it down a little bit. This thing is just a beast. There you go. You guys, even little details like this, runs and grabs tie wire. Tie wires this thing because this thing wants to kind of float up out of the bucket. So now she is tie wired on, good to go. We can't stop for very long, otherwise the paint will dry up inside the hose, and then that's a bad day. Alrighty, so we've gotten the small stuff done. This portion's done. That's all done. Other than, again, last little bits that got to get touched up over there. Now we're jumping onto the long sections of fencing, and we're just gonna see how far the remaining probably 4.5 gallons gets us. Let's take your bets right now. If you guys are watching this, take your bets. Are we gonna get at least this whole section done? We're only gonna get 1.5 sides of this section done. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments before we start going. Well, we pretty much got exactly 1 coat on each side of this fence. I was just coming here to start doing the second coat, and well, we ran too low in the paint bucket for the sprayer to pick up. I got Papa Rhino bringing me out 2 more 5-gallon buckets. I think will be enough at this point to finish. But in the meantime, we're gonna completely clean the sprayer out because again, it's so hot out here. I have to keep cleaning the nozzle because it's drying as like the little splatters are coming out of the nozzle. You guys can see, and it's creating these little icebergs or stalactites or stalagmites, whichever one comes out. and they're kind of getting in the way and splattering the paint a little bit. So every like 20 minutes or so I come in here and I scrape it with my knife and just get the nozzle clean. But yeah, the heat is no joke today. So we're gonna get this completely cleaned out. That way no paint dries inside of the hose, because then we got a real big issue. We don't want to deal with that. And then once the other paint gets here, we'll continue on. But we're looking really good so far. Well, I always go back and forth when I put in brand new wood fencing, because I think like the wood actually does look good and it kind of blends in. But then you see a nice bright white fence like that, and you're kind of like, well, all right, that does really class it up a little bit. All right, Patio showed up. We've got 2 more 5-gallon buckets, and I noticed a bunch of firefighting planes flying over. And well, you can see just cresting that mountain right there, we got some smoke. Now, based on what I've seen on the map of where that's at, it's not really close. Shouldn't be of concern to us at this very moment. We're gonna continue painting and keep an eye on that, but the good news is though, we are right in the direct flight path of where the planes go when they go back to refill up on the fire retardant. So we can kind of keep an eye on how many planes are going. Wish us luck that we're not testing out our pool's abilities today for firefighting. Now I went ahead and second coated the side that we see the most. Now we're gonna go to the other side of the property. We're gonna go paint that fence, and then whatever's left over, we're gonna use to second coat the back sides of the fence. Obviously it's gonna happen eventually. I just don't wanna run out and we end up with like a bald face on the most important side, which is the side we look at from the house. You can see the smoke's kind of drifting that way, which I don't know if that's really good either, because the fire's south of us, that's north. But as long as it doesn't start to come this way, I think we'll be okay. James gave me a crash course in running one of his water trucks the other day, so we are ready to go should we need to start doing some finag. So I'm gonna keep double checking. I got an app that shows where the fires are at. Keep double checking, make sure everything's good. Now we're gonna come over to this side, but we gotta move a bunch of vehicles because the wind is blowing this way, which is just gonna dust out the Coyote. I don't know if we really care about a single cab. She's like already 3 different colors. We gotta move the Bronco, we gotta move Patio's truck, and then we should be good. 6.0 can handle it. I don't think it's gonna drift far enough to get onto the Diamond C dump trailer. All right, so I got a direction of travel, but again, these things can change in a second. It is currently traveling away from us. You can see how quickly it is growing back there though. So basically, the thing we're most worried about is that side of the valley did not burn last time. Our side did. Our side, we're in pretty dang good shape. House is clear. Everything around us is super low lying. I'm not too worried about our house, but if that side goes up, that's the bad side right there. We don't want that to happen. Well, the old thermometer just hit 100 degrees. Whew, it is rough out here. Thankfully, this little section in the shade, but we are back to full sun now. We're switching over to our last 5 gallons, which we're gonna be all right on the inside. And then we should have enough to do a quick second coat on the outside face. Spraying burns up a ton of paint. Let's see, we're at, so at list price, I did get a little bit of a discount, but let's just say $220 for 5-gallon buckets. We are on our 4th 5-gallon bucket, $880, give or take, to paint this fence. Absolutely ridiculous what the world's doing right now. Let's give you a little fire update as Abel moves his truck. It actually looks like we're kind of not as bad. The wind should be pushing that way. I mean, the wind's pushing that way here, which is good. But we all know fire can make its own weather, and who knows what's happening on the other side of the mountain. But it sounds like from the reports I'm getting, everything's pushing away from us. Okay guys, we are in the home stretch. Oh, hold on, just getting a little splattery. Look how much paint is drying on there so quickly. It's crazy. The wind is definitely not helping us. Obviously, we're burning through so much more paint because of the wind and also because of the giant tip that I'm using. But we've just got this little section left to do. We're calling it a day if we can make it with that last little bit that's in that bucket. So what I'm trying to do, because this tip is so big, is I'm trying to catch this surface, and then get the top of that in one pass. So we're hopefully wasting a little bit less, even though we're still wasting a ton. And then on the other side, when I go through, I'll go backwards to try and catch the whole underside ledge. Oh man, we almost got it, y'all. We almost got it, but we ran out. But what we're gonna do, kind of like what we do with the concrete pump, we're gonna start pumping water through the hose because there's a good amount of paint in this hose. I don't know what this is, a 30-foot hose, something like that. Maybe it's 50 foot. So we'll let the water push its way through and that'll push the rest of the paint out. We'll use that to paint this last little section. All right, so now we got water that's gonna start pumping through, and we just gotta be careful that we stop before we spray the fence down with water. Is that possible? Yeah, we'll see. See how we do. And don't worry, eventually we're gonna pull this little temporary thing apart once we have this fully sealed off because the animals like to eat this palm tree. For now, we'll paint around it. We could touch it up later. Okay, y'all, we are coming to an end of this video. Look how beautiful the nice white fencing looks, and even better, look behind me. Notice no more smoke on that mountain, which means it's pushing away from us. So that's good news for us, horrible for the people that are dealing with that because we have been there, done that, that's for sure. The wind definitely made me take on a new color today. And I officially have a painting pair of shoes. Yikes, those are pretty filthy. Oh, look at that, we got another firefighting plane flying over top of us. And I've heard they've called in the big 737s, I believe is what they use for the big drops. So they've called in those boogers, so it tells me that thing's growing pretty fast. They're real worried about it. As long as there's only one fire, it's okay. They usually can get a pretty good handle on it. It's when multiple start popping up and they have to start spreading resources thin, that's when we're in big trouble. Let's take a look on this side though. Oh, looking so absolutely beautiful. Love it. Big Walt, you look great under there, buddy. We'll leave the gates off for today. I'm gonna pick up another 5 gallons. So we still need to second coat the outside and we need to finish up by the guest house. Whew. So we will be officially $1,000 in paint to paint this fence, which is just blows my freaking mind, but it is what it is. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed already, please click the subscribe button now that you not miss out on any future content. Don't forget to give this video a like, aka a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out workforapparel.com because if there's anything you want in this life, you gotta be willing to work for it. You guys are the best. I'm out. Me and Abel, we're gonna go hide in the shade underneath the misters and take a break because, whew, hot day. Don't recommend painting 100-degree days that are windy. Bad idea.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.